There is one thing that has been plaguing my mind since the announcement of Resurrection of Frieza, Dragon Ball Xenoverse, and then the trailers of the movie when we found out about Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Goku, and Vegeta. I've always wanted to know how they got these forms, and I've always wanted to know when Vegeta got Super Saiyan God, because we never got to see that. And so I hope with this training with Whis, we will get to find out finally how Vegeta accomplished Super Saiyan God, or when did he? Because with Vegeta going with Whis to Beerus's planet to train, it goes to show you that Vegeta is the one that has set up this entire training with Goku, and Vegeta working underneath Whis. Because if you remember the beginning events of Dragon Ball Resurrection of Frieza, it opens up with Goku and Vegeta. They're the disciples of Whis. So seeing how this is setting up for that scene, and seeing how Vegeta is the one that initiated this entire event, or Bulma actually is the one that kind of started this, but Vegeta got lucky and got to talk to him. It's really cool getting to see this. Now I wonder what Vegeta is going to learn, or what we are going to learn from this. Because Whis talks about how Vegeta, he needs to learn how to control his ki. He needs to learn how to effectively control his ki, and then he could possibly surpass Goku. And hearing about this, it's very strange, because I remember in the movie, it was a little bit different, but maybe there's different steps that Whis is trying to talk about, or maybe trying to imply to Vegeta. But for now, I wonder exactly what type of training Vegeta is going to get when it comes to him controlling his ki. Maybe it might lead him into kind of unlocking the potential of a god, and that's, you know, how he becomes Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan. But yeah, I've always wanted to know that, and seeing how this is setting up in this episode, it's very fascinating. It's very fascinating stuff. So yeah, let's get into this episode. So the episode is mainly about cooking with Vegeta, or Vegeta trying to persuade Whis to train him. And I think we can all agree, when it comes to Vegeta in this comedy, it's so funny seeing, because if you think about Vegeta in the beginning of Dragon Ball Z, of how he was just this battle-worn warrior, kicking ass, destroying people. I mean, look what he did in the Frieza Saga, look what he did in the Cell Saga. I mean, for fuck's sake, look what he did in the Buu Saga as well. And then thinking about this character, and then looking at him in this episode, of him just trying to use eggs to cook with. Oh my god, just Vegeta. These peaceful times, man, these peaceful times have changed you. Your family has changed you. Holy crap. Just to see Vegeta doing this type of stuff, it really goes to show you how far he's come as a person, or how much he has changed from this killing machine, actually, at the beginning of the series, because of how he used to murder people. Just to see how much he's changed, and how nicer he's become, it's pretty sweet. I mean, even given the time to talk to Bulma, I mean, even allowing Bulma to just say, come here and talk to him, it's pretty sweet. And I love that relationship between Bulma and Vegeta. But besides that, though, let's move over to a couple other characters. We have it to where Krillin and Android 18, they have their little communication this episode. I know not many people really care for that entire segment of Dragon Ball, but I find it very sweet seeing Android 18 and Krillin, just, you know, their entire conversation this episode with how Krillin got punched, and 18 is just trying to fix it up. I couldn't help but smile, because seeing the relationship, it's so funny, because, I mean, we didn't get to see much of that in Dragon Ball Z Buu Saga. I mean, we saw a little bit of it, we knew they had their child, we saw some forms of this in the Resurrection of Frieza, but we never really got to see a lot of emphasis on, you know, Android 18 being the wife of Krillin, and seeing this in this episode of how she was caring for him and all that, it was pretty sweet. And, I mean, Krillin's always been one of my favorite characters, and to see him, you know, getting treatment like that from 18. Oh yeah, it's talking about the punch, though. That's actually something that caught me off guard. Goku, or Krillin asked Goku to punch him. So Krillin, he gets punched by Goku. And I hope I'm not the only one to think this when Krillin got punched, but as soon as I saw Krillin get punched, before he got hurt, of course, I was thinking, like, this reminds me a lot of the end of Dragon Ball GT. Now, I know many hate GT, okay. I'm just saying, though, the ending part where, you know, Goku and Krillin meet up at the end of GT, one of my favorite parts of Dragon Ball GT was definitely that ending. But when you see it to where Goku and Krillin meet up, and then they have a sparring match, and Krillin punches Goku, that reminded me a lot of this scene in this episode, where Goku punches Krillin. It was the opposite, but it still reminded me a lot of it, and it was something that just brought back this nostalgia to me. Now, I don't know if the scene was trying to really mean that, or make it to where you feel nostalgia to Dragon Ball GT of all things, but it was a scene that really hit me, because it made me remember that finale of Dragon Ball GT many years ago, when I was a kid, and I remember picking up the VHS as the final VHS of Dragon Ball GT, and then watching it, and then seeing that scene. I remember having tears in my eyes. I remember, I was young and I had tears in my eyes, just seeing that scene. It was just so touching, just to see Krillin and Goku's final farewell. So yeah, I mean, this episode of Dragon Ball Super, not really much more to talk about. It was a setup episode for training with Whis. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.